Welcome back. We're in Banished, a 17th century or 18th century city builder, and we're establishing a new town for a group of banished people. Last week, or last episode, we got the core of our village laid out. We've got a blacksmith, a tailor, a woodcutter, a storage barn, a storage zone, and 6 houses plus a fishing dock. We've built a bridge across the river to start accessing resources and land over there. We've set down the locations for 2 trading posts that we're not ready to build yet, and a marketplace. So this is going to be our village centre up here. Down here in this basin area that we've got here, formed by these 2 ridges, we've got a hunter's lodge and a gatherer's lodge, and we're busy clearing the stone and metal out of this area, and then we'll put a forester's lodge in, and they will reforest and keep this area forested, managing it and harvesting wood to bring back up here. So that's how far we've got. We're at the start of the 2nd year in early spring. We have 26 citizens, 15 adults and 11 children. We are out of logs. We are out of food, so food production is a high priority right now. And our citizens' health is down to 80%, but their happiness is high. So food, health are the major priorities this year. The food will be helped with the Hunter's Lodge and the Gatherer's Lodge coming online. You can see over here that the Gatherer's hut is a long way off complete. The hunting cabin has got all but 2 logs of its materials, and then the builders will move in and get it going. So we're going to want to use this bit of land here. So while we're paused, I'm going to tell the villagers to harvest everything on this side of this road down as far as that cluster of stone. That will give us the logs to complete down here. In terms of stone, the gatherer's hut and the hunting cabin have got all the stone that they need. It's logs that we're short of. Let's get them working. And we're going to set them away on double speed just so that we can manage what's going on. We don't want them getting out of control or becoming bored. Now, the woodcutter says he's reached his fuel limit of 500. I don't believe it, because we only have 300 stored firewood. It may be that he means there's no more logs, which is fine. The blacksmith is out of logs, and the tailor has got no hide coats. He won't get any hides until the hunter's lodge is built. We knew that when we set him up. So timber is quite a high priority right now. We have 8 labourers, which is more than enough to handle it. As soon as they start dragging all this wood back up there, then we'll start to see that situation move. And of course the tradesmen, the woodcutter, the blacksmith and the tailor, while they're unable to do their primary job, they will be doubling up as labourers. So they're still assigned to their primary jobs, but they will operate as labourers until the materials are available for them to do their primary job. Starting to see logs coming into the main stockpile. and they're starting to pull them back down to the gatherer's hut. So what I'm just going to do is we'll probably put the forester's lodge on this end, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a small stockpile here just to save them. In fact, we'll put it over here. We'll make it a little 2x3. Can we get away with a 2x2? Will it let us? Yes. Put a little 2x2 stockpile there, just as a little transit stockpile. The Hunter's Lodge is being built, so we can assign somebody to be a hunter. That's the question mark has come up because they don't have a lodge to work out of yet. But that lets us identify who it is, and it's this guy here who's busy collecting stone and dropping it up here. And they're having to bring the logs in from up at the main village, so we probably need to get them to just cut a few trees down here. If we just tell them to get that little group there. Now we know we've got a hunter assigned to him. Says we can have up to 3. We're going to make it 1. And once he comes back, there he is, he's coming down. Once he's entered the lodge, that question mark will disappear and we'll see that this assignment becomes 1 of 1. There you go. So he'll start hunting the deer now. That will provide both meat and hides. And they're filling this little stockpile up with stone and metal. Which is fine by me, because we'll need that to build the forester's lodge down here. And in fact we could do that. Get that built on there. I'm going to need housing down here for them, but I don't want to put the housing necessarily inside the yellow ring. I think we're going to have to though, so let's just assign a house there. We can't put it on that, so we'll put it there like that. Rotate that around and put it... we'll put a bit of a space between the hunter's lodge and the house. So let's move that there. We can move that up to the top. I'll move that across there. that across there. The gatherer's hut is almost complete. We can assign a gatherer. Come on, where's the builders? Probably assign a third person to building at the moment. And you can see now why I wanted to get all of the stone and metal out of this basin, because it will allow us to regenerate the forest in here, which will assist both the hunter and the gatherer to have the maximum resources appearing in the forest for them. We've got somebody who's out of food and somebody, well, we know the question mark is the gatherer. We've got somebody going hungry, so we're going to start getting deaths shortly. There we are, the gatherer's hut's complete. Food limit 5,000, we'll bring that down to 1 of 1. And there we'll gather things like onions, mushrooms, roots and berries from within the forest. And that will increase the food throughput. We've had a death. Stasio the labourer has died of starvation. Rest in peace, Stasio. You did a sterling job while you were alive. So we need to get some prioritization on this forester's cabin now. And that will sort itself out nicely. So we need to start thinking about farming, and we need to think, where are we going to place our farms? And we need quite a bit of land for farming, and I'm thinking the other side of the river may well be a good place for it. So if we begin by clearing this area out, so we'll go to the clearance tools, and if we start with that little tree there and we remove everything down to about there, we've got 3 people that are starving now. Even though there's plenty of food in the barn, 46 stored food, they're all saying they're hungry. Taylor should be working by... We've just lost a couple to starvation. Santone Wall, the labourer, Palace the child, and Eland the labourer have all died of starvation. And we've got somebody else hungry. The starvation mechanism is in fact a form of population control. We've got too much population for the food that we're producing. I'm going to put a fourth person on fishing just now, which will help with the food. We've got another death. Another labourer has died of starvation. Now, outside of the forester's reach we have these trees here. These ones are also getting cleared. And we can check the production. If we click on the gatherer's hut, for example, and we click on this production, we can see that they are pulling out quite a bit of food from the forest. So what we could do is we could actually increase the number of gatherers, get that food production pushed out a little bit quicker. We could do the same with the hunter. How much have they produced? 160 venison and 4 leather. So let's just increase them. We can also increase them from here instead of using the screen up there. That leaves us just 1 labourer at the moment. So building is going to slow down quite dramatically here unless we drop one of the builders and turn them into a labourer. Food production is the priority. We're into early autumn. We've got no food reserves at all. We need to think about farming, and I'm almost tempted to put a small field here just to get us going. But 1 field is not going to be sufficient. We've still not released the trading docks or the market for building yet. All we've done is reserve the space for them. What we may need to do is reduce his capacity so that we've got logs for building and for the blacksmith. I think we are going to have to put a couple of fields down here just for food production in the next year. We'll make them 15 by 10. Get those two fields into place. It'll let them start to grow some food once we get through the winter. And by putting the woodcutter on a lower cap, we are starting to build a stockpile of logs now, and it is progressing the construction at the Forester's Lodge. However, the stockpile of logs and food remains low. The tailor also has no hides to work with. Health has dropped to 70%. We need to get the herbalist in place, who will assist with health. So if we go to resource production, herbalist, and we can put them behind here. It's a shame we can't get them further back unless we put them up here. No, we can't get them up there. Oh, we can get them up there, but they've got to go up against that house. So we'll put them there. Bring that across there so that we can see progress on it. Now we're just waiting for the builders to get their act together and build that Forester's Lodge. Output from down here will increase dramatically once these two houses are built, because they'll have less distance to travel between home and work. And you can see the gatherer in action here, picking up a basket of berries or mushrooms or something. There's the Forester's Lodge is going up now. We're coming into early winter. just about holding our own on food with the extra gatherer and hunter. And the extra fisherman. We want that forester's lodge complete as soon as possible. Come on builders, get a move on. So just to remind them, I'm going to add another priority to the forester's lodge. And the problem is, during the winter they keep going home to get warm, they don't stay on the job as long, and that slows down the production. But you can see we are in fact increasing the amount of food that we have, even though our, well, probably partly because our total population has dropped to 22. It was at 26. Now the next thing that we can do to increase the production output from down here is we can build a barn up here. There we are. Now we can assign a forester. And if we click on, it's up here already, we'll bring it down to 1 of 1, and we want them cutting and planting to regenerate this forest. So they'll cut down the non-healthy trees, shall we call it, and they'll plant new trees to fill all these gaps. That'll encourage the deer to stick around, which will help the huntsman, and it'll also increase the number of mushrooms, onions, roots and berries to help the gatherer. So we do need wood getting cut. We've already told them to gather from across here, so we'll let them start getting that cleared out. This field is now ready to plant. We can plant cabbages, and we can assign a farmer. That means as soon as the spring arrives, they will start planting that. We're struggling for food again. We have a space there that we can put a house into, but I want to get these ones down here finished first. We're coming into late winter, it'll be early spring soon, and when we hit early spring we'll pause the game, end the episode, and pick it up in the next episode. So, while we're waiting for that to happen, let me just thank you all for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's helping you out. The secret is not to rush, and that house there has been occupied by a builder and a gatherer, which is excellent news. That's exactly what we wanted. And this house is waiting for logs. So what we can do, I suppose, is tell them to clear a few of these trees up here. In fact, we tell them to take them off this side, because we may end up putting a barn in there. In fact, we could tell them to pull everything out of this side. And we could even then, prioritize it and get them to clear this, because we're going to want a barn in here. Yeah, this house is just waiting for logs. Another 12 logs and that'll get built. And winter's coming towards an end. We're not yet into early spring. We should start to see the farmer planting this. There we are, we're into early spring now. So what I'm going to do is just pause it there and remind you all, please, if you're enjoying it, give the video a like, post your comments down below, subscribe to the channel. None of that costs you anything, and it really does help me. It lets me know what you like, what you don't like. If you think I'm a little bit boring, say so. Tell me to liven it up. Tell me to get a bit more animated, a bit more excited. Check the video description. You'll find links to my Facebook, Discord, Patreon, Twitter, Twitch, my loot store where you can get your Gazbeard coffee mugs and all that sort of stuff. And I hope you follow me on those channels as well. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Have a great time. But from me, as always, for now, bye for now.